BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister, James Marape, has issued a stark critique of global climate summits, describing them as long on talk and short on action, ahead of the upcoming meeting of world leaders in Brazil. This critical assessment comes after the leader of the Pacific nation, home to approximately 10 million people, opted to withdraw from the 2024 summit in protest against major polluting nations for their perceived failure to adequately support those impacted by the climate crisis. Despite his past frustrations, Marape will participate in the annual United Nations Climate Summit, set to commence in Belém, Brazil, on November 10. This decision is attributed to what he describes as encouraging signs of progress from developed nations regarding climate finance. Marape articulated his stance, stating, "I did not attend COP29 because these meetings were often long on talk and short on action. This year, we are attending because we are beginning to see encouraging signs that developed nations are ready to deliver on climate finance and solutions." He further emphasized Papua New Guinea's dual role as both a victim of climate change and a provider of solutions, vowing, "We will have our say at COP30, and we will make sure our landowners benefit from conservation efforts." The ongoing COP summits have consistently faced accusations that major emitting countries have fallen short in their commitment to meaningful climate action. This sentiment was echoed by UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, who, at the opening of a recent gathering, directed sharp criticism towards world powers, accusing them of remaining captive to the fossil fuel interests. Rather than protecting the public interest, Guterres issued a grave warning, asserting that allowing global warming to surpass the crucial 1.5 degrees Celsius benchmark established by the Paris Agreement would constitute a moral failure and deadly negligence. He cautioned that even a temporary overshoot would yield dramatic consequences, with every fraction of a degree higher means more hunger, displacement and loss. Like numerous other small island states, Pacific countries find themselves on the front lines of the escalating climate crisis. Papua New Guinea, strategically situated north of Australia, boasts the world's third largest expanse of rainforest, according to the World Wildlife Fund, characterized by widespread poverty, extensive coastlines, and a vulnerability to natural disasters. PNG is identified as being highly susceptible to the devastating impacts of climate change. Prime Minister Marape outlined his primary objectives for COP30, which include advocating for equitable climate finance for local landowners and securing greater recognition for the vital role of its forests and oceans. He recently held a meeting with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Belém, stating, "We are connecting the Pacific and the Amazon, two of the world's big forest regions, to tackle climate change and build sustainable growth." Marape further called for enhanced cooperation with Brazil across key sectors such as agriculture, energy, and technology. He also highlighted Papua New Guinea's ambitious energy initiatives, including the expansion of hydropower capacity and an increase in liquefied natural gas exports to regional markets. "PNG is young but rising," Marape declared, adding, "We want to be self-sufficient in energy and support the region with clean hydropower. Our LNG exports to Japan, Korea and Singapore show PNG is a reliable energy partner." In a notable development, Papua New Guinea will lend its support to an Australian Pacific bid to host COP31 in 2026. This comes as Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has reportedly decided not to attend this year's summit in Brazil, a decision that has drawn criticism given Australia's ongoing contest with Turkey for hosting rights. Within Papua New Guinea, environmental organizations are closely monitoring the proceedings. Pamela Avusi from the Environmental Alliance in Port Moresby expressed concern, noting that while Prime Minister Marape has criticized larger nations for their inaction on climate change, the government itself has, in her view, worsened environmental problems through its own policies. Avusi stated, "PNG has already suffered from decades of illegal and unsustainable logging. The government needs to stop these practices to be taken seriously internationally."